Hello everyone, and welcome to the Agalite WebCenter training number 3. Today we're going to be going over a few different things, mostly to do with pricing, customer setup things, and a few other little miscellaneous things that we haven't covered in previous videos. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and log in here. Give me just a moment. All right, there we go. So hopefully everybody remembers from our first video that in order to use the program, you do actually have to have a customer set up. And you find that under the menu over here and then setup and customers. So I'm going to go ahead and take these first few minutes. I want to go over the pricing section up here and the terms and ship via in a little more detail. So let me click this edit button. So I mentioned in that earlier video that you can do the category pricing like this, but that you can also go into more detail. And I kind of want to just take a minute and go over and explain that a little bit. So I'm going to go over that next. And then I also want to go over the terms, so how you set up payment terms, and then how you set up ship via or ship routes on here as well. Do note that the ship routes and the terms are just kind of, they're just text fields. They're just kind of for you guys to see. They're not really going to do anything. They're not anything binding or anything like that. And this is all your terms to your customer, not to us, not to your manufacturer. So just want to make sure that's clear. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at how we do those. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to choose this menu and I'm going to click Setup and Terms and Ship Via. And that's how you do the payment terms and the ship via. This is super, super simple. All you do, you just type in whatever your terms are right here into the box. So I've done 2%, 10 at 30. I'm going to go ahead and do 5%, 30, net 60. Okay, so that's done. Come over here. I'm going to go ahead and choose another ship via route. So I'm going to go ahead and change this and put a route in as route 2. To and there we go. That's my route. Click add, and there we go. It just adds them as a list right there. And then when you are ready to add them to your customer, you come back, setup and customers, click a customer. Well, maybe. There we go. Try that again. There we go. All right, edit, click customer. All right, so then I want to change these terms, change that term to that 30%, 15, net 60, and then add in the shipping route that I created. And there we are. That is set up. And that's how you do payment terms and ship via. Okay, now let's go over the pricing because this is more detail and takes a little longer to explain. So same idea, setup. This time you're going to go for pricing. Now this is important. There's two things here. There's two options underneath this. You want to start with tables. Tables are the easy version. So let's start with tables. Okay, select your table. All right, and then, so this is important up here where it says table type. So in my original discussion, I said on the customer page that there's 3 ways to price. There is discount from list, markup from cost, and gross margin. You notice this table has a discount, a markup, and a margin. This represents discount from list, markup from cost, and gross margin. You have to match this table type to whatever method you are using. If you are using a markup from cost, your table needs to say markup. If you are using a discount from list, your table needs to say discount. It will not show any other way. That is important. Make sure you choose the correct one. All right, so I'm doing markup from cost, so I'm gonna go ahead and choose markup from cost. And then you wanna select your category. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the transcend category. And you'll notice I don't have a table. So now I have to add one. All right, so I'm gonna click add, and then I'm gonna say that we're doing a promotion on the bypass doors. So transcend bypass promotion, and then to make it clear, I'm going to say, okay, well, we're doing a promotion of 30%, and there we go. That tells me exactly what I'm doing. Click OK. All right, now it's going to show you all of your available parts, and that's where you're going to start. All right, so if I'm doing my bypasses, that means I want to focus on my TRBSE and my TRBTE. These are my 2 bypass units that I want to price. Okay, for right now, ignore the schedule. Don't even, it doesn't exist for this moment because that's the next one. So just go past that schedule and come over to this markup multiplier right here. Okay, now this takes a little bit of math. So if I'm doing a regular markup on all of my other units as a 2.0, 2 times my cost, and I want to discount these particular units 30%, I do need to pull out a calculator and actually calculate that out. I believe it comes up somewhere around 1.4 times, we're going to do 0.7 because we're doing a 70%, so we're doing a 30% discount at a 1.4, and there we go. So 1.4, so I'm going to add a 1.4 markup to this table and to my next table here. There we go. All right, so a couple other things to know. The way we do the pricing at Agalite, you do need to make sure you select this option section right here. What this is this is saying, hey, for these units, you're going to take this discount off of all of my option codes as well. You do need to select that. We price off of option codes instead of off of price lists on most of our units. If you do not click that option code, it may not work. The exception to that rule would be the estate items, where you can just do this without the option codes if you want to, but most units, you need to click the option code. All right, so that covers that. Pretty easy to understand. And the other thing I want to go over here real quick is this little set of arrows with the little little circles with the arrow pointing down in them, basically. So you see those and you're like, what are those? Well, what they are is, let's say I do a discount over here on the TRBT. So let's say I want to do a discount specifically on my 3/8 units, but I don't want it to be as much of a discount as my Transcend bypass. So let's say I want to do these ones as a 1.6, and let's say I'm doing every single unit now. Well, I could just enter it into all of them, but instead I'm just going to choose this little down arrow and I'm going to say, yeah, okay, I want it to fill down. And the system is just going to automatically fill that discount down for all of my units so that I don't actually have to do it, because let's be honest, saving time is the best. So there's that. My discounts are set up. Okay, there we go. Now, the other thing I want to go over real quick is this other section up here where it says options. So the other thing you can do with this, which is really, really nice, is you can actually place discounts on specific option codes, which is really nice if you wanted to, say, do a promotion on ultra clear glass or maybe shower guard. You can absolutely do that. All you have to do is find that option code in here. So let's say I want to do Starfire and shower guard. So I'm going to come all the way down to my S's down here. All right, so I see SGH, which is my shower guard. Awesome. So I'm going to change that discount. I'm going to go ahead and say we're doing that at 1.5 times my cost right now. Cool. All right. And then I want to do also, let's say Starfire. So I'm going to find my Starfire option code. There we go, STR. Same thing, I'm going to do 1.5. There we go. That means those particular option codes for this particular table will price with the 1.5. And there we go. That's all done and set up, and only under this table. So that's done. My pricing is all set up. I'm good to go here. And you can, I want you to notice up here where it says parts, all parts, you can actually set these prices up to specific individual parts. So let's say I just want to do that that shower guard and that Starfire discount on maybe just my bypass units or maybe just my 1/2 inch units. You can do that. You can select individual units and you can add that to specific units, or you can leave it as all parts like I have right here, and it will do all of my Transcend units will get that discount automatically. All right, so there we go. My pricing table is all set up. Now we actually have to apply it. So to do that, come back up here, click setup, click customers again. There we go. I'm going to choose a customer, click edit, and then you come down here and you find that category. So I was doing Transcend category. There we are. There's my table. I do want you to notice that table does not appear anywhere else. That is just for the Transcend units. It will only work for Transcend categories, and it will only work because I have this set up as markup from cost. If you have any of those settings changed, this is not going to show up. So there we go. That's all set up. I'm going to click Save, and I will go over how that actually works on the quoting page in just a minute. I just want to go through one or two other little things real quick. So back to my pricing section, I want to go over the schedules really quick. So it says tables and then it says schedules. Click on schedules. So these are another pricing method. They're also a little bit more complicated, but they do offer some really nice options if you wanted to set up your installation charges, anything like that, your labor, anything like that, where it's set up by a specific charge. These are really great for that, because it does, one specific charge based on how you do that. You can also do it under the pricing tables, but sometimes this can be a little bit easier. So the way this works, you can click up, you click create a schedule. I'm going to go ahead and just call this my test schedule. If I could spell. There we go. There we are. All right, so I start with this, and you'll notice it says UI. UI and price. That's not very clear, is it? So UI stands for unit inch. Unit inch is the height plus the width of a unit. That gets you your unit inch. Okay, so let's say I have a 70-inch tall door, and to make the math easy, let's say it's 30 inches wide. The door is 30 inches. So in total, it has a unit inch of 170 plus 30. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in as a unit inch of 100. Now, let's say I want to go ahead and price this particular door at, I'm going to go ahead and say $250. And add. There we go. Let's say I want to do this in increments of 50. So I'll do that, and I'll do that. And I can keep going, keep going, keep going. You can even vary it a little bit. If I want to do 175 and 325, I can do that. All right. So eventually you'll reach a point where, okay, you've got all your bases covered, and then you can come down here where it says add an additional blank dollars for every blank unit inch beyond the maximum. So this is saying, okay, well, what do I do when we go past a unit inch of 175? You come over here, you can say, well, I really want to add, say, $25 for every, let's say every $10 beyond my UI maximum. And there we are. That is done, and that system is set up there. Okay, that's done. Okay, click setup. And then to add these, you have to go back into the tables section. All right, you want to click on a table. I am going to show this under my installation table. I believe that's the right table. Hold on. Sorry, other charges, that's the right table. Okay, and then I'm going to create a table. So this is going to be just for installation charges. Click OK. There we go, it creates that. Now I'm doing this just for my labor units. So I'm going to come over here, I'm going to select labor, and then I'm going to choose my test schedule. And there we go. I'm not going to apply a discount multiplier. You cannot apply a discount multiplier and a schedule at the same time. It does not work. You get either a schedule or a discount multiplier. So I'm going to go ahead and leave my schedule in there, and I'm going to leave it as is. And then I'm going to walk away, and I'm going to come back and choose my customers again. All right, choose my customer. Click my edit button here. So I want to come down and choose my other charges, and I'm going to add, there we are, my miscellaneous charges table. And there we are. Click save. And that's done. All right. So now when you're actually creating a quote, this is how this applies. So I'm going to create a quote. I'm going to go ahead and choose my customer. Go ahead and keep my, oops, wrong set of customers here, sorry. There we go, that's my customer. All right, so you'll notice, hey, I have a payment term, it applied. I have a salesperson, it applied. And then I have a ship via. Oh, this must be the wrong customer. I apparently chose the wrong one. Well, oops. So anyway, so I defaulted this one. If you default it under the customer, it will default here. If you did not default, you have to select. So there's that. Click add. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and choose my transcend category. And I'm going to choose a bypass unit and click add. There we are, da-da-da, it's all done, click add. And there we go, it sets up my unit. And there we are. So I must have chosen the wrong customer because it's actually not showing everything correctly. Let me check that real quick. Yep, okay, so my test customer was set up as my default, so that's why I accidentally selected the wrong customer. Sorry. Let's try that again. Create quote. Test customer. I believe you. Yep, I believe that was it. And nope. Apparently I have 2 test default customers. No wonder it's confusing. Okay, somebody else must have set that up. All right. So that's a lesson for you. Be careful of your customers. Be careful you keep track of them, I suppose. All right, so. Create quote. Choose. I believe I want. There we go, I believe that's the one I want. All right, click add, nope. There we are, that's the customer I wanted. Okay, sorry about that. As you can tell, it gets a little complicated when you have different sites and different customers. So, there we go, it defaulted in my terms and it defaulted in my salesperson. There we are, that's all taken care of. Okay, and also you'll notice down here defaulted in my ship route. So awesome, we're good to go there. All right, let's go back in. Let's do a transcend unit one more time. Let's choose a bypassing unit one more time. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and click add and keep going. I'm gonna choose a standard width. Sorry, height. And that's everything I want there. Oh. But I want to go ahead and choose my glass because I want to do my promotion on my glass. So I'm going to choose Starfire. And there we are. Add that. And there we go. So it'll tell you, hey, your item cost is this. For this unit, I didn't have any more multipliers applied already. So it's saying, okay, well, we're going to go ahead and charge 1.4 for the units except for the Starfire, which is getting a 1.5. And you can check all of this against your cost if you want to do that. You're more than welcome to. I can walk you through how to do that. Just go ahead and shoot me an email, give me a call. I will put that at the end of this training. So there is that. That's covered and taken care of. And then I want to go through and do an installation charge as well. So other charges, labor, add. All right, so remember how I was talking about that unit inch thing and it was really good for installations? This is where that comes in handy. So I have those unit inches of 100, 150, so on and so forth. If you put that number, just put that number into either of these boxes or both these boxes or however you want to do that math, just put in that number. You think of it as a code. Click add. Click add again. Oops, I must have not set this one up, sorry. This is what I get for trying to do this quickly. Also, I did it on the wrong table, so there's that. Oops. That was on me. Like I said, see, you got to be careful with the tables. All right. Charges. Miscellaneous charges. Okay, I'm going to add my new table. Test labor. All right, and then for my labor, I'm going to add my test schedule. And there we go. Come back into your customer and adjust your customer. There we are. All right, that's adjusted. All right, let me go back into my quote. Try that again. And there you go. You see it automatically adds a charge of $2.50. Nobody's ever going to know what that charge means except you. And you can even print out your quote so that it doesn't have any line item pricing. Quote without line item pricing. Click that. And I'll show you how this works. It's kind of neat. So it doesn't show any of that pricing. It just shows, there you go. Bam. There's your total pricing. And it gives you everything without having to explain what everything is, etc., etc. And this is no tax on the labor, so that's really nice. All right, so that covers most of the pricing. There's a couple other things here real quick that I wanted to go over, and then I want to do one last thing on the search function, and then I think we're pretty well done. So let me just go over these last couple of things real quick, and then we'll get out of your guys' hair. So pricing, there's a couple other things. I mentioned this briefly in the previous videos that you can actually click on the prices to see like your cost and stuff. You can also come in here and you can edit these line items, these sub line items here. So a note of caution here, you can increase them however much you want. Decreasing them can be a bad idea because the system has a threshold that is your cost. If you go below that cost, it's going to throw up an error. And depending on how many of these you change or what you change, it can be very, very tricky to figure out which one it was that caused it, because that error has to be fixed before your orders can be placed. So you're okay to increase anything you want. I do not recommend decreasing unless you're doing it through a discount table. Trust me, it gets to be a headache. And yes, I'm speaking from practical experience, having made that mistake a few times. Yeah. So there's that. That's just that page right there. And then you can also adjust your pricing. I mentioned this earlier in the first video that you can adjust your pricing manually up here in the part price. So let's say, oops, I forgot to add the charge to dispose of the old shower door. $100, and that'll be taken care of. There you go. Adds $100. Click save. There we are. That automatically adds that to the price, and we're good to go. So one other thing I want to go over. Let's say you're working with a new customer, and they really want a discount, or you're really close to winning their business, but they're just kind of a little hesitant on the price. So you're like, you know what, let's give them a little bit of a discount. And let's say you want to do it just for this quote. You don't want to do it in the future. You want to do just this particular one. You can do that. Click edit. Okay, you'll come over here. You see where it says markup multiplier and markdown percent. You click this. This is going to change the markup multiplier for the entire quote. Choose this. This will change it to a markdown percent. So I'm going to go ahead and say 1.3. And this will take the place, mind you, this will take the place of the category discount, not the pricing tables. There we are. Oh, I guess it does take the price of the pricing tables. Huh, didn't know that. So that's one thing to be cautious about. I did not realize that it does that, but it does that. It will take over all of the pricing if you do a discount like that. So that's really great when you have just your category multipliers, but it doesn't appear to work so well with the pricing tables and discount tables. So like for this one, we could say, you know what, we're going to do a 2.5. Click save. There we go, bam. It automatically increases the price. And there you go. So that is just kind of the pricing multipliers. this stuff isn't used nearly as much as the category discounts. It's just information that I like people to have. It can be very helpful, you know, that sort of thing. The last thing I want to go over just really briefly is the search function, because I haven't covered that in any of the other videos. And it can be useful to know. So let's say you're trying to find an order that you placed, say a month ago, and you don't see it up here or something like that. If you come over here into the menu in the search bar, make sure you choose orders if you're looking for an actual order, and then you can type in an actual number or you can type in a partial. I'm going to type in a partial. And there we go. It's going to bring up every single order recently found with a 50 in it. And there we go. You can also do the same idea with the PO, customer reference, address, and phone number, obviously. And then quotes, so this would be the same idea. This is just for your internal quotes. So let's say I'm looking for quote 1-2 with a 1-2 in it. I know that much. So there we go. It's going to say, hey, okay, so these are the quotes that you have with these numbers in it. So hopefully that helps things out, makes things a little bit clearer for you guys. I know this material is a little bit dense, so if you guys have any questions or anything, if you get really confused, anything like that, let me put my contact information up here and you guys can shoot me an email or give me a call. So for those of you that don't know, my name is Emily, and I'm kind of the Web Center administrator here. My phone number, this is my direct line, 719-948-9519, and then my email. If by chance you don't get a hold of me, or if I'm out on vacation, something like that, you can also send an email to webcenter@heartonglass.com, and this will also be answered. Either one of those works just fine. If it's the Web Center one, it comes to me eventually. If it's the email, it comes to me directly. So both will work. So there's that. There's my contact information. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope it was educational. And if you have any questions, like I said, please let me know. Thanks, everyone, and have a great day.